Well, we open up a week from Tuesday night at home against Fort Valley State, and then go on the road at St. Louis on a Saturday and at Pittsburgh on a Monday, and come home with Southern Miss on the following Thursday. So right off the bat, we're going to see where we are. We've got a really challenging schedule, and we're wrapping up preseason practice. Our guys are a little dead-legged right now. We've got to do a good job of getting our legs back under them and get ready for what's going to be a mad rush the month of November and early December with a lot of games.
Any questions?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned seeing where you are. Where do you think your team is right now?
Well, we've got 4 starters back, but they're all in different roles. So we, obviously losing Wesley Person, we counted on him to do so many things from an offensive standpoint, scoring the ball and the way he shot the three. And then we've lost Kevin Baker and Juan Davis. So we lost 3 seniors who played a lot of minutes and played a huge part of the success we've had the last couple of seasons. So, but those 4 guys coming back, they're all ready to play. You got a guy like Jordan Venardo, who has received a lot of accolades throughout his career. He's one of the premier players in this league. Alex Hicks is back as healthy as he's ever been since he's been here. Javen Johnson, a young man who started the last 12 games of the season, has a lot of potential. And then B.J. Miller, who I think is one of the most solid point guards in the league, second in the league in assist-to-turnover ratio last year. So we've got those guys back. Darian Adams is another guy who played minutes last year. He's emerged as our starting 2-guard. The key to our team is those next 3 or 4 guys, who steps up in those roles and how they play, particularly early on when we're playing such a tough schedule.
What's it like to start off with the tough schedule right off the bat? Is that a good thing, bad thing?
Well, I think at our level, that's pretty common. I think when you talk about mid-major basketball, I mean, everybody's going to be playing tough games. Ours is just on the road early, right off the bat. And sometimes you like to get a couple home games in and then get those tough road games later. But we go to St. Louis, who's picked to win the Atlantic 10, and then Pittsburgh, who's obviously an ACC member, and then come home to play a Southern Miss team, who's the best team they've had in a long time. So we'll know where we are. But I do think this team will progressively improve just because there's so many new guys who are going to play, and there's so many of those returning guys who are stepping into larger roles.
I was going to say, you were going through your lineup and everything. Is this one of the most athletic teams that you've had here at Troy?
It's certainly, Justin, since we've been here, it's the most athletic team we've had. We've got length, we've got athleticism, we've got more depth than we've had. We've got guys coming off the bench who are long and athletic. So I think we have a chance to be better defensively than we've been in the past, and maybe get out and play faster offensively. We're trying to play at a faster tempo. Everybody probably says that this time of the year, but we've been working on that. But I think that'll pay dividends in league play because, as you all know, our league is such an athletic league. And there's one thing about our team in the first 5 years we've been here, we probably haven't been quite athletic enough on the perimeter. And I think this year's team, you'll see a more athletic look from our perimeter guys.
Jordan Venardo's been productive ever since he stepped on campus. He's made all conference over and over again. You can look at him and tell that he's put in some extra work during the off season. What's out there for Jordan this year in his final go around?
Well, Barry, he's coming off a season in which he got shut down with that stress fracture in his foot in mid-November, and they shut him down for 6 weeks. And when he came back, he was rusty. But by the time he knocked all that rust off and got back in shape, he was one of the better players in the league, made all-conference again, and still averaged 18 points and 7 rebounds and was very efficient. But he's healthy right now. He's the leanest he's been since he's been here. He's playing at a really high level. He had a great trip to Costa Rica. He's had a really good preseason. Jordan's a guy who's been hurt a lot in preseason and missed time. So fortunately, at this point, so far, he hadn't missed any time with any kind of injuries. So he's healthy. He's ready to go. He's in a leadership role. And he's one of those guys who plays hard every day in practice. When he steps between the lines, he's ready to play and compete. And that's what you like as a coach about your best player who loves to compete. And I think that rubs off on our team. But he's got a chance to really make his mark here at Troy. He's one of the best players that ever played here. If he continues to do what he's done, I think this year sets up well for him because he's got some guys around him who can take some pressure off him in other areas. But we're just looking for him to really step up and lead this year, probably more than he has in the past.
What do you think, if there might be any major challenges that you guys might run into first couple of games?
Well, I think three-point shooting is always a question mark for every team in the country. It's not rocket science. It's, to understand when your team is making threes, you're so much more efficient offensively. And we feel like we've got some guys who can make threes. We've shot the ball well in preseason. We shot it well in Costa Rica. But doing it in a game against live defense and a defense that is prepared for how you're playing is a totally different question mark. And I think we just like everybody else this time of the year is, can we make enough threes to really keep the defense on us, and particularly we're a team that likes to play inside out. And last year we had Wesley Person, who at all times could jump up and make shots, and who's going to do that? And I don't think we have to have anybody that replace Wesley Person, but we've got to have collectively, we've got to have some guys knock down some shots, again, because it's so important, the ability to make threes.
You mentioned Darian Adams, and I almost want to ask you a little bit more about him. What have you seen from his growth now that you mentioned he's right now the starting two guard for this team?
Well, Darian's a young man from Montgomery who had a great high school career, and when we got Darian, we were really excited about his talent and how good he can be, because he's got a couple things you want in that position. He has good size. His body looks the best it's ever been. He's been in the college weight room for 2 years, and he's really toned up, and he's got a really good presence on the court. And as a two guard, you've got to be able to make shots, and he's got a great looking shot and has the ability to make them. Again, can he do it as a starter and against good competition? But the other thing he has, he's such a high basketball IQ guy. He's a good passer. He sees plays before they happen. His big thing is we've got to continue to get his conditioning level up. He struggles with conditioning sometimes. It affects him on both ends of the floor, but we see a lot of potential in Darian, and not only what he could do individually, but how he can affect our team this year.